Hello friends, very good morning to all of you. So today we are going to discuss PF54 part 1, that is general client security. So we'll discuss about that. So let's begin and we can talk. Hello friends, so in this section we'll talk about the general client security, that is PF54 part 1. So let's discuss few things on that client part. So we all know, right, the OAuth client has a few things that it needs to protect. So if it is a client secret, it needs to make sure that this is stored in a place that is not accessible to outside parties. That is important because if client secret is stolen, it can be, yeah, threat for your environment. As we already know, we discussed on the auth code flow in the OAuth section, right? So in that already we know that what is the role of client secret and how if it is compromised, what can be the problem. That's why it needs to be handled properly. As it collects access token and refresh token, likewise it needs to make sure that these are not made available to components outside the client software itself and the other OAuth entities that it interacts with, right? The client also needs to be careful that these secrets are not accidentally placed into audit logs or other ledgers where a third party could later surreptitiously look for them. Yeah, so this is something like at the time of design, both party has to look for that. So, for example, if I am building the authorization system, so I need to see how where I am storing this information. It's not by default or by mistake can come into my audit logs or any other place because it is a risk. Same thing applies for the client side. The client which is interacting with the authorization server has to store the secret properly. They also need to ensure that this secret can't be accidentally placed into audit logs or other ledgers. So this is all fairly straightforward security practice and its implementation varies depending on the platform of the client software itself. However, outside of simple theft of information from a storage system, OAuth clients can still be vulnerable in a number of ways. One of the most common mistake is to use OAuth as an authentication protocol without taking any precautions, without taking any extra precaution. That means in OAuth, you have started passing some claims of the user, like user information, like username, email address, or the other details of the user. That can be definitely a threat, right? Because that is not meant for OAuth. Yeah, OAuth is like a kind of uh, if you are going to an amusing any like amusement park, right? So there you're just taking a ticket. So the you're just trying to take the service of that park. So in that, the person who is issuing a ticket to you, it's not interested who you are. It's just giving you a ticket that is work as a token, and you have access for some time, like 8 hours in the park or 5 hours, like that. So that is not meant, right? They are not interested who you are. But if you're going to the airport, right, there you have some ticket or token with you. But in that, the service what you are trying to avail, they are interested who you are, right? So that's a two different thing. It's one is like they are not interested who you are. It's just like giving you a token and you will have the access to the park. Another is the person who is interested who you are. That's authentication part. So I think we already know those things. We already discussed in the past. But yeah, so these things we need to be ensure. There you will encounter some issues such as a confused DPT problem and other authentication related security issues. One of the worst results of a security breach to an OAuth client is to leak the resource owner authorization code or access token through sloppy implementation of OAuth protocol. That we can see in our coming section, that how those things, resource owner authorization code or access token, can be leaked in in some, like what is the process or what is the way, right? Not the process, what is the way through which it can be leaked, and how we can avoid it by putting some practical implementation. On top of the damage caused to the resource owner, this can be indeed generate some kind of uncertainty around the client application with significant repercussions on the use of the product, with substantial reputational and or financial loss of the company behind the auth client. There are many security threats that a person implementing on an OAuth client should guard against, and we are going to discuss those one by one in the next section of the Pinkfield Learning Series. Yeah. So in the coming section, we'll just try to understand all those things which needs to ensure, like it's not like only the authorization server has to keep everything. It's everyone, right? In OAuth, you can see we have authorization server, we have the resource, we have the client. So all people are playing some role, and all people has to ensure some security measure. If they're not ensuring, it can be a issue for the entire system. So that's what we are trying to understand one by one. Yeah, so this is about this section. So let's jump to the next section where we'll discuss another section of this common OAuth client vulnerabilities. Yeah, if you have anything, yeah, please put in the comment section. We'll discuss again. Thank you.